Listen up, your 30s aren't your settling down decade, they're your leveling up decade. And I'm about to continue to drop those truth bombs that absolutely transform my entire life. While everybody was asking, when are you getting married? When are you having kids? I was busy building an empire, sculpting my body, and becoming the woman I actually wanted to be. But first, drop a comment down below letting me know one thing you wish someone had told you before you hit 30. I don't care how old you are. I'm reading every single comment and question, and I might just make a whole video on them. So come on.
Dr. Nina, the girl next door, beautiful brown baby doll.
I didn't walk down the aisle or hold my first baby until I was pushing 40, honey. And that was by design. But these 10 habits today, they're the reason why I hit my 40s as my most confident, successful, and genuinely happy version of myself. No fluff, no feel-good nonsense, just straight facts that work. And before we dive in, if this content is hitting different for you, smash that like button, share it with your friend that needs to hear it, and don't forget to check out my LTK shop for all the things that help me to feel the best person that I absolutely am. Links in the bio. Now let's get into it. Habit number 1, I'm gonna say again for the folks in the back. Ruthlessly audit your circle every 6 months. Your 20s friend group, I'm sorry to say it's this, half of them need to go. I'm talking about the friends who still think getting blackout drunk every weekend is still cute, or ever was. The one who gossips about everyone and everything, including you, and especially the ones that get extra squirmy, weird, and jealous when you succeed. And I'm talking about the type of jealousy that turns to envy. I had a best friend at one time that would literally change the subject anytime I would talk about my business wins. When I got my first big promotion, she said it must be nice to have connections. And that was her last invitation to my table. Just dry and thirsty. I'm tired. So here's the action. Every January and July, write down your top 10 contacts. Ask yourself, is this person adding value to my life or are they draining it? If they're not celebrating your wins or supporting your dreams, or even if they're not inspiring you to grow at all, because not everybody has the same desires, they're taking up space that could be filled by somebody who will. And I'll tell you, it really does work that way because I've had more friends walk into my life that really needed to be there at that time than those that I had to let go of. So you really have to weigh your options and figure out what's going to be best for you in the future. Now, habit 2 is have the hard conversations immediately. That uncomfortable conversation that you've been avoiding for a while is not just gonna go away. Address issues head on instead of allowing resentment to build. Your relationships and your sanity will improve dramatically. I used to let stuff slide to keep the peace. Keep the peace. All I kept was some stress and passive aggressive energy and some blow ups along the way. Now I try to address issues within 24 hours or when I've had time enough to really contemplate and think on them. Hey, when you said X, it felt like Y. Can we talk about it? Game changer. But here's the key. I also stopped allowing people to manipulate me into other arguments when I was trying to focus on the issue at hand. You know the move. When you bring up one legitimate concern and they're trying to bring up something that you may have said 3 months ago? Nope. We're talking about this issue right now. Let's resolve this before we discuss anything else. Stay focused and stay in control. So here's the action. Write down one conversation that you've been avoiding. Schedule it this week and watch your relationships get stronger or reveal themselves as not worth the stress or the energy. And speaking of boundaries, I want to thank me for sponsoring today's video. As a licensed psychologist, I've developed a boundary setting checklist that has helped multiple people with the skills that I've embedded into it. It's your daily companion for building healthy boundaries without all the guilt. We don't need none of that. Now you can download this gift in the description box below because the best investment you can make is in yourself. I'm also going to try to link it right in the video. Habit number 3 is learning to say no without explaining yourself. And y'all, this one took some years of work. No is a complete sentence. I used to do the whole no, because, and woo. And then by the end of it, it ain't no more. Stop. You don't owe anybody an explanation for protecting your time, energy, and your peace. So stop over explaining your boundaries like you're in court. I used to say yes to every work project, social event, and even favor requests because I thought it made me look nice. All it made me was exhausted and resentful. Can I get an amen for everybody who understands? Learning to say that won't work for me without a 10-minute explanation was life-changing, and becoming a mama, you learn no real quick. So here's the action. Practice saying no in the mirror. Start small. Decline one unnecessary event for your week. Watch how the world doesn't end and people actually start respecting you more. Let's do a practice real quick. I got a mirror here. No, absolutely not. No. Nope. You see? We got it. Habit number 4 is create multiple income streams. The real talk is that your job is not your security. Your skills are. The women who thrive in their 30s are not just climbing one ladder. They're building multiple ladders. Recession-proof yourself, boss lady. I kept my day job as a psychologist and professor because I'm not too proud to diversify my income. Even in my 30s, some weekends I was still braiding hair. Money is money, honey. I added speaking engagements, sponsorships, affiliate marketing, consulting, whatever matched my skills and my schedule. People thought it was too much, but I knew something that they didn't. Life happens fast, y'all. It comes at you fast. Economic downturns, industry changes, health scares, okay? I wanted to be prepared for anything. When other people are concerned about one stream of income drying up, I tried to have 5 others flowing. Pride doesn't pay bills, but preparation does. See, I started working at McDonald's at the age of 14 years old, baby. I learned humility with dignity early. So here's your action. List every skill that you have that could generate some income. Don't eliminate anything that seems beneath your main career. That side hustle that you're embarrassed about, it might be the thing that saves you when the industry shifts. Pick one additional stream of income to develop further this quarter. Your bank account don't care about your ego, okay? Can I get an amen? Now, habit 5 is invest in your appearance strategically. Looking put together isn't vanity, it's strategy. People definitely treat you how you present yourself. And believe me, as a person that works in multiple worlds, I know this to be true. Your external confidence actually fuels your internal confidence. Back in the day, I used to think spending money on certain things was frivolous, okay? Like getting your nails done all the time or doing a lot of other things. And I'm a pamper princess, okay? So I've really come far in that. And then I learned that looking like the successful woman that I wanted to become or was becoming was actually helping me to become more successful. I was embodying that person. Confidence is attractive. And attraction opens doors. I don't care what nobody says. I told y'all, no holds bar up in here. We gonna tell the truth. So here's the action. Calculate about 10% of your income on appearance investment. Quality over quantity. One perfect blazer beats 5 cheap ones. Okay? Professional photos, good haircuts, good hair maintenance, skincare that works. I told y'all you don't have to break the bank. I go to the beautician or go to my stylist maybe 5 times a year to make sure that my hair is in good shape, that my color is refreshed. I also go and get braids every now and again, and I do other things. But also with my clothing, I'm searching for things even on just Amazon or other places that don't cost me much. I think this shirt was like $7. Just whatever it is that helps to compliment you and helps you to feel better. Yes, I have some high-end pieces, but I mix those with low-end pieces. Even just a nice pair of jeans or nice shirts, things like that that help to keep you up. They don't have to break the bank, but you have things in your artillery that helps you to look nice and polished. You want to invest in looking like the person that you are and are becoming, okay? You want to make sure that you are taking great care of yourself because that makes a statement to other people. Now, here we go now. We stepping into that dating lane, and even for some of us married ladies, okay? Stop dating men who aren't absolutely crazy about you. And I'm not talking about the stalkerish crazy, okay? Y'all be trying to take it all the way to the limit. If he's not texting you back within a reasonable amount of time, if he's too busy to plan any dates, and if he's keeping you a secret from his friends, he's just not that into you. And that's information, not a challenge. Here's what I learned a long time ago. Being alone and fabulous beats being with someone and frustrated every single time. I spent a part of my early 30s trying to win over men that only gave me breadcrumbs. I had a few faux pas, okay? I accepted lukewarm love and half-hearted efforts sometimes. And this usually was from people that started off on the high end, right? But worked their way all the way down. And consistency is key. And then I got real with myself. My own company was better than bad company. I started dating like a CEO who interviews candidates. Standards, sky high. Availability, required. Effort, non-negotiable. And you know what happened? I got completely comfortable being single. My Saturday nights alone reading my book or watching YouTube videos was totally comforting and much better than auditioning for men who saw me as only an option. The man I married, my Sean, he pursued me like his life depended on it. My husband even moved to be with me. Do you hear me? And when you think about it, that's what you deserve. So here's the action. Create your non-negotiables list and don't you dare negotiate. I told you I read a couple of mine during my own wedding ceremony. If a man isn't adding value to your already amazing life, he can keep it moving. Your 30s are too precious to waste on maybes. Remember, you're not desperate for company. You're selective about who gets access to your energy. Single and thriving beats coupled and surviving. Bars. Habit number 7 is to stop caring about what people think about your life choices. Y'all know how I feel about this one. Other people's opinions about your timeline is none of your business. You're not living their life, and they certainly ain't paying your bills. Y'all know how I feel about that. They ain't paying your bills. Their judgment says more about their insecurity than your choices. Every gathering I would go to at one point, I would hear, when are you settling down? Even at friends' weddings, I would hear, you're next. At one point, I started to feel defensive. Can anybody relate to that? Then I realized I'm building my own empire right now while they're asking questions about my uterus. And I started responding with, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, and meant it. See, here's your action. Write down your core values and life goals. When someone questions your choices, ask yourself, does this align with my vision for my life? If yes, smile and keep it moving. Their opinions aren't your emergency. Habit number 8 is to invest 20% of your income with no excuses. That latte isn't keeping you broke. It's your lack of investment strategy. Your 30s are actually your wealth building sweet spot. Compound interest is literally free money, but only if you get started right now. I learned in my 20s to carry the spirit of discernment with my spending. Not being cheap, but being intentional. Baby, I had this saying, give me $10 and I'll show you how to ball. I stayed at the Ross, the Home Goods, the Marshalls, whatever it was that was gonna save. I was gonna do it. Every dollar had to pass the test. Is this moving me closer to my goals or just helping me feel better in the moment? I automated my investments early and I treated myself like the VIP she was. This discernment helped me to invest in things that actually mattered. My education, my business, quality pieces that lasted. While skipping most of the stuff that looked good on Instagram, but it left my bank account emptier. By the age of 35, I had enough saved to take real risks that made me even more money. Now here's the action. Open that investment account this week. Start with index funds if you're overwhelmed. Automate it so you never see the money. Literally a direct debit into another investment account. Your 50-year-old self is literally gonna look back at you and thank you in designer shoes. Habit 9 is to work out like your mental health depends on it, because it does. Exercise isn't about fitting into your college jeans. It's about building your physical and mental resilience to handle everything that your 30s will throw at you. Strong body equals strong mind equals strong woman. My fitness journey has literally sustained me through every era of my life. I lost 100 pounds in my 20s, kept it off throughout my 30s until I was approaching childbirth, almost at 40. And I credit this foundation with helping me stay healthier even through my pregnancy. Exercise became my non-negotiable because it wasn't just about how I looked. It was about how I felt, how I handled my stress, and how I chose to show up for everyone else in my life. Deadlifting taught me that I could handle a lot more than I thought. Boxing taught me to fight for myself. Yoga taught me to be still with my thoughts, and my body became my sanctuary and not my enemy. So here's the action. Find movement that helps you to feel powerful, not punished. Whether it's lifting, dancing, hiking, or martial arts, commit to it like your life depends on it, because honestly, it does. Habit number 10 is discover what actually lights you up and pursue it. Your 30s are when you stop doing things because you should and start doing things because they set your soul on fire. That hobby that you keep saying that you'll get to someday, that creative project that's collecting dust, that skill that you always wanted to learn, your someday is now. I spent my early 30s saying that I was too busy at one point to really explore those things that I knew I was interested in. I had this list of things I wanted to delve into: photography, learning, enhancing my Spanish, taking cooking classes. But I kept putting them off for more important things. But then I realized I was living everybody else's version of success, but ignoring what actually made me happy. So I started carving out time, even just 30 minutes a week. And that was to explore exactly what excited me. My hobbies led to paid gigs. That creative writing stuff that I love to do, it helped me to launch a speaking career. When you follow your curiosity, it leads you to opportunities that you never saw coming. So here's the action. Write down the 3 things that you've always wanted to try but never made time for. Pick one and commit to spending about 2 hours total on it this week. Don't wait until the perfect moment or until you have the time. Make the time. Your future self is going to thank you for honoring what makes you genuinely happy, not just what looks good on paper. Your 30s are not your dress rehearsal. This is your life. While society tells you to panic about your biological clock, I'm telling you to build your empire and mind your business. The person who invests in themselves, sets boundaries, and also refuses to settle doesn't just survive your 30s, but dominates them. I didn't need a man to complete me. I needed to complete myself. When I finally did meet my husband, I wasn't looking for someone to save me. I wanted someone who was worthy of the woman I had become. Your 30s are your 3 S's. The time to be selfish, strategic, and spectacular. Stop apologizing for taking up space and claim your space at every table. And stop answering what you bring to it. So what habit are you implementing first? Drop it down in the comments. And remember, the people and the women who change the world, they're the ones who refuse to dim their light, especially for anyone else's comfort. Now go be great. The world is waiting. Beautiful Brown Baby Doll signing out. Peace.